The Ear Whisperer. The city of New Orleans, famous for its old streets, ancient rituals, and dark legends, was where Emily Carter lived. Emily was a simple, soft-spoken girl. Born and raised among narrow streets and old houses, she had lived her entire life there. Her father was a religious man who worked as a temple priest in a small spiritual center, and her mother was a homemaker. They were not rich, but they lived a peaceful and happy life. Or at least, they used to. Because one day, someone's evil gaze fell upon their family. And everything slowly began to fall apart. Recently, Emily had secured a job as a bank cashier, and ever since then, her parents had started pressuring her to get married. But Emily wasn't ready. She wanted to work for a few years, become independent, and save money. Her parents suggested that they could start looking for a suitable match now and plan the wedding in 3 or 4 years. Around that time, a proposal arrived from a wealthy family in Louisiana. After much convincing, Emily finally agreed to meet the boy. 2 days later, a long black luxury car entered their narrow street for the first time and stopped right outside Emily's house. A tall, handsome young man stepped out of the car. His name was Adrian Miller. His mother was with him. Adrian was charming, confident, and attractive. At first glance itself, Emily felt drawn to him. The families talked for a while, and then Emily and Adrian were asked to speak privately. Within minutes, Adrian impressed her with his intelligence and calm personality. He wasn't just good-looking, he was smart. He told her about his startup, how he had built it successfully within just a few months. They exchanged phone numbers, and soon after, Adrian and his mother left for Baton Rouge. Later that night, Emily shyly told her parents that she liked Adrian, but she wanted to talk to him a little more before saying yes. What Emily didn't know was that this single, maybe, would become the biggest mistake of her life. Emily and Adrian began talking on the phone for hours every day. Slowly, her feelings for him grew stronger. But around the same time, something strange started happening. Emily began getting injured for no reason. One evening, while talking to Adrian on the phone and chopping vegetables, she suddenly cut her thumb badly. The very next day at work, her ankle twisted painfully while she was just sitting. But the worst incident happened a few days later. She was working at her desk when she felt thirsty and stood up. The moment she took a step forward, the ceiling fan crashed down right onto her desk. Emily narrowly escaped death. If she had stood up even 2 seconds earlier, the fan would have fallen directly on her head. Terrified, her manager sent her home early that day. That evening, when Emily reached home, the house was dark. She assumed there was a power cut, something very common in that area. She turned on her phone flashlight and went to her room to change. After coming out, she called for her parents. No response. When she entered the kitchen, she froze. Her mother was standing in a dark corner, staring blankly at the burning gas stove flame. Emily nervously called out to her from behind. Her mother replied in a cold voice, "Stay away from me." Confused and scared, Emily turned on her phone torch and pointed it toward her mother's face. The moment the light hit her face, her mother screamed loudly and collapsed unconscious. Panicking, Emily ran to find her father. She saw him sitting near the prayer altar, chanting verses. But something was wrong. When Emily listened closely, she realized he was chanting the prayers backwards. Her hands and feet turned ice cold. Suddenly, Emily felt a sharp pain at the back of her head. As if someone had hit her with something heavy. The room started spinning. And she collapsed. When Emily woke up, her parents were sitting beside her. They calmly told her nothing had happened. According to them, Emily was the one found unconscious in her room. Nothing made sense. Had she imagined everything? But how could she dream while being unconscious? That night, Emily told Adrian everything over the phone. Adrian stayed unusually quiet. After a long pause, he said softly, "I know why this is happening." He told her not to be scared and promised that he would meet her in 2 or 3 days and explain everything. After the call ended, Emily felt extremely uneasy. Her parents were behaving strangely, emotionless and distant. And whenever Emily was alone, she started hearing whispers near her ear. "Leave him, he belongs only to me. I will destroy you and your entire family." The whispers grew louder with every passing hour. When the day finally arrived to meet Adrian, he asked Emily to come to an old temple located outside the city, at midnight. Emily had a severe headache. So, a few hours before leaving, she lay down to rest. She didn't even realize when she fell asleep. That's when she saw the dream. Adrian was sitting alone in the middle of a forest, eyes closed, performing some kind of ritual. Suddenly, a beautiful woman appeared and whispered something into his ear. Adrian's eyes snapped open. He stood up and silently followed her, as if under her control. Slowly, the woman's face turned blood red. Her eyes widened. Her teeth sharpened. She began floating in the air. Emily had never seen anything so horrifying. Suddenly, Emily felt the creature's attention shift toward her. It realized. Emily could see her. The creature turned and screamed directly at Emily. Emily woke up screaming. Her head was pounding. She checked the clock. It was time to meet Adrian. Before she could process her dream, a loud scream echoed from the living room. It was her mother's voice. And that was the moment Emily realized. The nightmare had only just begun.